Welcome back to another episode of The Hardcore Casual with your boy, Bass the Kid. As always, please like and subscribe, share with a friend, a colleague, a relative, an associate, an enemy, and anyone in between. I appreciate all the views, likes, shares, etc, etc. This one is going to be short, but it's going to be primarily centered around the altercation that took place on the red carpet of Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou. So, before we get into that, one or two other little things we can talk about. So without further ado, let's get into it. So Jared Anderson's doubled down on his desire to quit boxing by the age of 27. As far as he's concerned, success isn't going to be measured by championships. It's going to be measured by the amount of money that's in his bank account, and that's what he's going on. So he's going to fight as often as he can, I guess, to reach whatever pinnacle he can reach to attain those big money fights, and then be out the door by 27 with multiple houses, cars, and whatever else he may want. Now, yes, money and securing your future is always the primary thing. So you want to get, sort of get in, get rich, get out, as Ade always says. Big up to Ade, I'm stealing in line. But in this instance, most of the big money you get, especially as a heavyweight, comes from being in world title shots or taking those world title fights or those legacy defining fights. Now, if you're not gonna be looking for those, then chances are, the money you're looking to attain, you're not really gonna get, especially when there's no superstar marquee names around at this point. So it's a bit of a weird stance to take, I suppose, but I'm not mad at him ultimately, because it's his life. If he wants to get out by 27 with his faculties intact, then cool. But that being said, saying it publicly means I get to have a thought and opinion on it. And while I think he's immensely talented, if his heart isn't in it for the right reasons, because getting rich isn't a reason to get into boxing, especially with such a dangerous sport. There's got to be something else driving you. So if it's just about the money, that's very dangerous to do to yourself, and there's much easier things that he probably could be doing. But if that's the case, maybe I won't be supporting him and his journey as much as I previously would, seeing as his ambition doesn't match my expectation of his ambition. But yeah, it's his life, he can do what he wants, so I will wish him well moving forward. Now, let's talk about what took place on the red carpet yesterday. Since you guys will see it then, that's what we're going to address it as. Now, the funny thing is, from the moment both guys walked in, like, Fabio was calm, cool, and collected. I listened to some of his interviews. I was standing behind the Boxing Social guys and a few others, so I heard, the kind of stuff Fabio was talking about, and obviously boxing news as well. He just seemed calm and cool, but from the moment David Adelier walked in, his energy seemed a bit more alert and hyper than normal. Like, he gave off the impression of someone that wasn't totally comfortable in the surroundings. Now, I don't know if that's because, I guess, there was an op in the building, so to speak, or if it's just because he didn't want to be there, but he didn't necessarily give off the impression of just kind of being cool and relaxed. He was moving about the place. He kind of walked on the red carpet very quickly, didn't really stop, didn't take no pictures or anything, just circled out, then circled into the crowd, dapped it up with a couple people. His energy didn't seem like, I'm on business right now. It just seemed like, all right, I'm here, but I don't want to be, so let's hurry up and do whatever we need to do. Stark contrast. So then now, I'm doing an interview with Raven Chapman, and then partway through the interview, all hell breaks loose. So I'm going to show it to you from the angle I've seen it, and then ultimately I'm going to show it to you from an angle from some footage that was sent to me from one of my peeps as well that was also there, who actually caught it from the opening. And yeah, as soon as I've done that, then I'm going to kind of give you my take on the situation.
just got to me. That's all I can say. And you know, I made sure I was doing enough, working well enough, doing good work.
Pause this. Do you want to try and continue, or do you want to wait?
Guys, can we all take a step back, please, guys? Can we all take a step back so we can get this clear, please, guys? Thank you, guys. Yes, suggest to you all, guys, we can get off here, guys. Guys, can we take a step back past the red carpet, please? Past the red carpet, please, guys. Thank you very much. Where are you going?
We'll keep the door clear, gents. They go back inside or go down there.
So yeah, as you can see there, Fabio Wardley ended up a little bit worse for wear from the altercation. You kind of see, as I said, you can kind of see Fabio, he looks like he's one deep at this time. Now, I know there are other people from the camp who are in and around the place, but he's by himself. We've got the guy in the green hat who comes out of nowhere, who must, I guess, be a part of Adelie's crew, his entourage, a family member, friends, cousin, you know, like whatever. And obviously him and Fabio get into a slight altercation. But it's weird because when the push happens from Delier, you see this other guy sort of come into play, and Fabio almost looks shocked, like, what's going on here? Like, who's that? Like, kind of thing. And he doesn't ever look like he's going for him again. But then the two of them start to get separate. Fabio obviously runs over, trips over the separator, and in the mist, from the angle I saw it, I didn't actually see the punch kind of get swung in, so I don't know how much of it connected, but I definitely saw Fabio's legs get tangled up in the, you know, in the separator tape, and hence how he ended up on the floor. Yeah, ultimately it was a mad look, and I feel like something is gonna come of that. Either whether it's going to be a fine, whether it's going to be a caution. I mean, potentially, if we're going to be honest, since this wasn't a sanctioned bout, it wasn't under sort of sanctioned rules, and you can see all of the culprits of the situation on camera, quite visible, and they're also quite clearly all over Twitter. I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow we find out that there's some kind of police investigation or a report that's filed due to it. So yeah, I mean, it's crazy. You get put on, quote unquote, the biggest event of the year, and as quickly as you get put on the event, you almost could get taken off of it, because Fabio Wardley's got a very deep cut underneath his chin. The one at the side of the face isn't terrible, it's outside of the eye, so you can cover that with head guard, you can do what you need to do, but the one on the chin was really deep, which could prevent him from being able to spar, which ultimately then means that even though he was halfway through a training camp, he's not going to be able to finish it in time for the Saudi Arabia fight, which therefore means that the fight itself would end up getting pushed back. Now, some of the questions I have regarding that is, he signed a one-fight deal to fight on the Queensbury show, but on that specific show. If he's not able to sign on that show, does that void the actual agreement that he signed initially? And then does it have to go back to purse bid settings? That to me is where the interesting part of this comes about, if the fight doesn't take place on the 28th of October. Now, personally, I hope that it can do, because more for anything, I want that for Fabio. Like, he's obviously taken this gamble and it was about to pay off in his favor. But on the Dillier side, it's weird. It's like, why would you risk the bag? Everyone always says in anything, whether it's street life, whether it's business or anything in between, you never let anything get in the way of the bag. Maybe unless it's, I guess it's like family, like immediate family, like children or something like that. Nothing gets in front of the bag. So I don't understand how you get that kind of energy and impetus to do something like that at such a big, high prestige place with a bunch of these international delegates there when you're about to get to the bag. Now, clearly it may not ever be the biggest purse that you get in your entire career, because the hope is that you go on to bigger and better things and end up getting bigger and better purses. But this is definitely the biggest paycheck you're getting right now. This ain't your cool money, so why would you jeopardize that? And it's just, it doesn't make much sense to me. And it's definitely one of those things where you could say certain people, it's almost like they block their own blessings, and in this case that might be what David done. Obviously he wasn't the one that threw the punches at Fabio, or he's not the one that caused the cuts, so to speak, but he initiated the whole situation. The guy that he was chatting to in the crowd, the one that he was telling to shut up and all of that stuff, just being over aggressive in a place that didn't need aggression. It just screamed of someone that didn't want to be there, wasn't comfortable, wasn't used to that kind of environment, and ultimately someone that still got a lot of growing to do as a person. But look, that's kind of my thoughts on it. You can leave yours down below, let me know what you think. I hope the fight can take place there. However, that being said, as I'm not gonna purchase that pay-per-view, maybe if it gets pushed back and it ends up on a different Queensbury card or a Matchroom or whoever, that might be more beneficial for me if I don't have to pay for it. But we'll see where we get to. I'm gonna leave it there. As I said, leave your comments down, let me know what you think. Like, subscribe as always, and for right now, that's the Hardcore Casual out.